What up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And this is the NXT review video on December 10th, 2024. We got plenty so much to talk about on the post-show edition of this show. After their pay-per-view show this past Saturday, NXT Deadline. And they showed who was the winners, who's going to be facing Trick Williams and Roxanne Perez for the men's and women's championship at New Year's Evil, which we all knew that. Well, the one that watched the podcast video today, and also the ones that also watched the Deadline pay-per-view, just like yours truly. And yeah, this show was a really good one. With them, definitely leading the women's division up in their greatest heights that there's ever been. What if it was matches or segments, they did a very terrific job. What if it's in the mid card and the main event, which is so much to talk about from there, and a shocking return from a wrestler from the main roster, which the last time they did fall in the match, it was in NXT a year ago, I believe. But then now they made their long year absent return, and I'm very excited to see what's next for this particular wrestler. And also we have a really entertaining and interesting mid-card match for NXT's mid-card championship. We also saw a really good mid-card match to open up the show, and a very intriguing face-to-face showdown with Trick Williams and Obafemi, along with Trick Williams going to put his title on the line for next week's NXT, which we're going to get into in just a moment. But I'm not going to say by who, which most of y'all probably know, considering y'all watch the show. But I'm just going to save it until I talk about it on stage. That's where then Julia came in and got on the microphone. She said, "Yeah, I won the Iron Survivor match, and yeah, I am the Iron Survivor, and I will challenge Roxanne Perez for that at New Year's Evil." Roxanne's Roxanne in LA. I will exactly what I'm gonna plan on be doing. And something I was trying to do from a couple months ago, which I was unsuccessfully, of course. But I will be this time the NXT Women's Champion until Roxanne Perez interrupted her because she knows the rules in professional wrestling on page 408, I guess you could say. That's where she was like, "Yeah, congratulations, Julia. Yeah, you did a very successful job. That you won. But in my opinion, I think Soul was the MVP of the. Roxanne, even though that's true, and even though you're probably not much of a fan of this girl, but you don't have to rub it in their face who was the MVP of the night. But this is where then she said I believe and this is where she was even Ren Sinclair, she was spending more time in the penalty box when she managed to catch up and tied the game. And also Zarya and Stephanie McCurry, they were just there for the show, and they do best in this industry, of course, no matter where they're at. And this is what you're I gotta give them credit. But you, on the other hand, for you, Julie, you're not quite on my level, which I'm surprised you were the one that won. But I gotta give it to y'all girls. The ladies prove once again why we have the best and prestigious women's division and all of professional wrestling in a whole. And this word she was but that's like I said, none of y'all are quite on my level, unfortunately. And that's the same, and that's the sad thing about you girls. And that's not gonna be changing anytime soon. So you might as well just line up for the Women's North American Championship. Yeah, this is off limits when the Prodigy is because I don't know if you forgot, dude. You've been here before, right? And this was yeah, and it was yeah, you've been in this role before, but it's been the same since the past year. With me, my high title up in the air, winning over my division, which that is NXT, by the way, and this where she was in that New Year's Evil, your town, is gonna be the same result. And the beautiful man yet again is going to be falling up short to get the Prodigy. But that's only if you're going to be mixing it to New Year's Eve at Los Angeles. This is where Stephanie, not Stephanie, but Julia was you know what? Maybe we don't have to wait until January 7th. We can do this right here, right now. This is where she dropped the microphone, went face to face. This is where the guy Cora Jade was "Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Julia. If you want to go there, because Like, I don't think you're ever gonna make it to New Year's Evil, like because of us two. Like, and look, I know your best friend from Japan, Stephanie Vaquero's gonna be saving you, like, but she can't. Like, she like, as a matter of fact, she won't be because there's no question about like who you're about to see, like attack your best friend. And this is where she pointed up on the Titantron screen, and it was helpless Stephanie that was down like right into the backstage in the hallway, with her being ambushed and attacked by a mysterious, I guess you could say, a mistress, I guess. Mysterious. I'm not sure what they referred as mystery female, which we already know who it is if it's not obvious enough, because this where they attacked poor Julia, but luckily Kalani Jordan was there to save the day. It turned into a tag team match, and who do you think was going to win this? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But let me tell you something. This was definitely the number one spot for sure. I'm about to say, like, maybe this is probably going to be like at maybe the second place spot, but no, like, and not because it's the main event, but it's just that it just had that spark. Like it just felt like it deserves to be into this position. Anyways, let's move on to the next slide. This is where we got Tony D'Angelo's like, "Hey, eat the page!" Like yeah, like I saw what that happened with you this past Saturday with his D'Angelo family brothers Stax and Luca was there, like to keep in company as well. As where Ethan Page was depressingly responded like, "Yeah, like Tony, like I don't know how I'm gonna get back into the NXT title division to picture now." This is where Tony D'Angelo like, "Yeah, you're right. Like you just need to keep moving." Like, I'm not sure if I'm even saying this. I can't believe I'm saying, like, yeah, I feel a little bit of a soft spot for you, Paige. Like, how about, and because of I feel a bit sorry for you, like, how about I give you a shot for the NXT North American? I was like, wow, this is very nice and generous of him. Maybe it's all part of the Christmas spirit, I guess you could say. Like, given because of the holiday season, because it's not like usually what Tony D'Angelo would do. But it's where Ethan Page is like, with all due respect, like, I just cannot do that. I'm not on that level. Like, and if you ask me, like, I carried this entire brand on my back a few months ago as NXT champion. And and me holding on to the North American champion, it just seems like a downgrade right here. But this is where Tony D'Angelo's like, okay, suit yourself. And he's like, I'm just trying to help you out. But this is where once he starts shouting out to everybody in the locker room, like who wants a shot at my championship? Like, if he was about to offer them like $500 million, this is where we got Ethan Page stand up real quick. Like, you know what? I take the match. I changed my mind. This is where then Tony D'Angelo's like, no, like this is not a title for you, like because it's more of like you said a downgrade. This is where it's like, and this is where then Ethan Page like, I forget what I just said. Like if I could. This is where then he was like, you know what? Like you have a point about your North American title. It's like it's the next best thing. Like you said, he's like, and if I can't beat you for that title, like my career is gonna be pretty much over at this point. Which I don't think in reality that's the case. I think it's just beginning. Like even though it already begun like 18 years ago, but this is where then. But this is where we got Tony D'Angelo. Like, this is where, no, Ethan Page like, okay, I finally accept this. Where Tony D'Angelo, okay, like, that's perfect to hear, Mr. Ethan. I'm glad I can make you happy again. This is where then they went out and got their match before the main event, which I'll say they totally did a really good job, which I would give it, like, me personally, like about I'll say a third place bronze trophy award for the match. But let me know in the comment section right down below for those who watched it as well. But anyways, but yeah, they totally did a very terrific job. Like if you're fighting for the NXT World Championship, not the mid-card championship. But this is where we got to the other side in the locker room, which it was what's the name? Lexus King was having a little short chat with a fellow second-generation wrestler, which is Charlie Dempsey, given he's the son of Brian Pillman Sr., and this was the son of William Regal, Charlie Dempsey. Yeah, I guess they were having some relatable conversations of them being the second-generation wrestlers. But this is where this is where Alexis King was saying, like with him now, he's a man of integrity. Like he's a And then his wrestling talents were top notch and stuff. And he was like, and and since I am have all what it takes to qualify into the division, I should get a shot at the Heritage Cup. This is where Charlie did like, I didn't I already gave you a shot? Like, oh yeah, that's right, Mr. King, I did give you a shot at the. So honestly, it would be the best idea to give you. But it's where. But this is where we got the rest of the No Quarter Catch crews. Ren Sinclair, taking out Heights and Miles Bourne came in, and this is where Charlie Dempsey let him know, like, all right, boys and gal, Miles and Tavion, y'all were just a pinch away from becoming the new NXT Tag Team Champions. And this is where, and you, Ren, you nearly had it, even though you were the one that was taking the pinfall. You took and then for that, you proved that you belong in the top of the mountain of the NXT division. This is where then we got what's her name? This is where we got Ren Sinclair that was sounding like Marcy right here. Then start continuing to call Charlie Dempsey Charles, which I guess that's the proper way of calling him by his first name. That's where she called him Charles, like if he's Charlie Brown. This is where he's just like, yeah, I totally appreciate that from you, my leader. And this is where we got OTM that came in. That's where they were like, we should have known that you boys were not going to be bringing those titles home here to the NQC, the NQC. Yeah, they came up really close, which I'm not sure if that's making feel bad. But that's where then we got. And the Park's like, whoa, baby girl. The only thing that should come out of your mouth is that, thank you, Jada, because I was the reason why you got to the 5th place spot in the first place. I'm like, well, it seemed like you're high praising her rather than getting yourself up. And even if you are putting yourself up, it did not make any sense, because how come you didn't try to allow Lola Vice just to knock you out? Just saying, maybe you got a shot at the NXT women's Iron Survivor opportunity, and you could possibly could have been the Iron Survivor, but that's a different story for a different day. But and that's what it's like. And if she was and if it hadn't been for Lola Vice, or me ducking out of Lola Vice's back fist, knocking you out, you wouldn't have gotten a shot in the Iron Survivor in the first place. This is where Ren Sinclair, this is where she did a little bit of reverse psychology, which I have to give it the Goofy Wrestling Award of the night with the Golden Trophy for her with her outsmarting her by saying, you mean if I didn't, you mean if you didn't duck out of that back fist, you got knocked. Give me what you're saying, if you didn't duck out of that back fist and if you got knocked out and landed onto Cora, then you would have gotten the shot at the championship. Maybe you should have, you would have been having an opportunity. This is where they got what's her name. This is where Jada Parker's speaking of knocking somebody out, I should knock you out right now. This is where Charlie Dempsey's whoa, not now, not here. This is where they try to be the peacemakers, but nothing was not taking Jada Parker, having Jada Parker change her mind. And I believe next week when they go to Lowell, Massachusetts, for that little holiday special edition of NXT, I think that's where we're going to have the match. But we got a couple other matches that's been announced on tonight's show, which I'm going to get into at just a moment. But anyway, we got Javon Evans and Wes Lee came out, and let me tell you, these two young guys definitely knocked it right out of the park. These guys were fighting if they were in the premium live event, they were wrestling. So and they just did fought in the premium live event this past Saturday at the Iron Survivor match. But the reason why they got this match tonight because of what we saw after that match at the premium live event when they got into it backstage. This is where we got Javon Evans amazingly knocked down what's his name, Wesley, clothesline him, suicide dived him right into the exact same court. They sent him some right hands, letting him know that he's not a guy you should punk him around. And this is where he started hitting him with right hands. This is where then Javon Evans threw West right into the left side. This is where Javon Evans tried to go for a springboard, but he gets elbow right into the midsection. He gets catapult right back in the ring. This is where, but they managed to send him right back out in the apron. This is where trying to close him out, but he hits forearm strike right in the face by the young OG. He tried to go for a springboard onto West, but West intercepted him, going for a drop kick right onto him in the air by catching him like a pop-up drop kick, I guess. But when he tried to go for a pin, he ends up getting a kick out at 1 even. This is where Wesley was like, yeah, I should have known that was going to be where. Yeah, that move is more useless than the Blue Thunder Bomb, like that bald a-hole said. And then, yeah, I kind of got offended when he talked Sugar Honey Iced Tea like that about my boy Simon, even though he might not say that. This is my version of saying what he might have said, but this is where we got what's his name? Wesley starts spearing Javon Evans right to the midsection. Is where then he sent him right to the outside. Is where he started throwing him around with Barry's tombstone. Is where he goes right back in the ring. I'm like, what a sign of disrespect. This is where we got Wesley to try to get back up and go right up to the left corner side. But he ends up getting hit with a right forearm strike. Hit a suicide dive more than what's his name? More than what Javon Evans did to him, like trying to get double vengeance, even though I understand why he need to, when he just need one onto that one. But it's where we got Javon Evans to start throwing him around right into Barry, like in the counter, like from the young OG. This is where he tried to run and try to go first. A leg flopping springboard into a Hurricane Rana right onto Wesley. Did hit the missile drop kick onto the former North American champion. Then the young OG then it's all right to the left, back in the left side is where he goes to the right, get ready to hit another suicide dive. But we already know, like, about that rule. Like, if you already hit a move first, it's not going to strike twice unless you find a double whammy card. He ends up getting tripped by getting kicked right to his left knee. It's where then Wesley then sent him right to the outside. It's a alley-oop dive right onto Javon Evans. With Javon Evans, Wesley's like, yeah, West for life, like putting out his initials, like for the W, like if he's from the west side of this country, which probably like maybe in like if he's from like either Washington or Cali or Nevada or Erie or Idaho or Oregon, like yeah, like but ain't he from Dayton, Ohio? Man, his head got messed up. Maybe like he got brainwashed by the other city next door to him, which that is Cincinnati, like with that very disgusting toxic water, which he probably got brainwashed by that guy over at the other company is their world championship, which I'm not going to get into right now, not until tomorrow, because they're going to be in the best city of the United States, which I'm going to get into later, like when I talk about, make sure to check it out. But anyway, this is where we move on to this is where we got Wesley was back in the ring with Javon Evans after the most powerful force and all of pro wrestling came on. But once the adverts went off, it ends up back to the match, like with with Javon Evans was in the offensive side. I see why SM calls it, the most powerful force. But anyways, this is where we got Javon Evans then start making a comeback by hitting some strikes. And once you try to Irish whip Wesley right to the left side, he gets countered and he goes for a bouncy flip right to Insecure. I was like, no wonder he called himself the bouncy one. This where then Javon then go right up on the top corner side. It's a flying springboard cross bouncy splash right onto Wesley, but Wesley ends up kicking out at 2.7. Javon Evans like, that was so damn close. Is where we got Javon Evans then try to pick up Wesley like into a double underhook suplex. Or a power or tiger bomb. This is where we got Wesley then body dropped him, but this is where he nearly got sunset flip. But this is where he started grabbing onto the referee like if he was a human ring post. But this is where he gets a big this cheap shot knuckle punch right into the head of the young OG. But Javon Evans hit him with a Superman punch of his own, turned into Roman Reigns. This is where then we got Wesley then hit a big right knuckle punch right back with Booker T, which I like, damn, big shot. And yeah, I say damn way too much. And I believe he didn't exactly say that, but I'm just saying like something what he would say. But this is where we got Wesley going for a super kick. This is where Javon Evans bounced right back to the right side, hit a boot right to his foot. This is where Wesley then turned ugly because he got very angry. Like, he like, you did that to me. This is where then we got him try to go for a super kick, but he hangs on to his leg. His way turned into like a tiger bomb, but he ends up getting Hurricane Rana into an interception. Wesley then was like, yeah, he don't know what's going to hit him next. That's where he tried to go for a suicide dive. But same like what Wesley did to him, he intercepted him because the lightning does not strike twice in professional wrestling unless you got that double whammy card. And that's what Javon Evans reminded Wes about. And this is where he hits him with a out of nowhere Spanish fly, just like one of his idols, like Randy Orton would do if he was in the match. But he wouldn't do a Spanish fly, he would do an RKO, of course. This is where Javon Evans got the guaranteed sit down tiger bomb. Nearly got the 3, but Wesley got the legs and shoulders up. Add 2.999999999 double triple nine minus 0.1 away from being 3. And I was like, that was so darn close. Like, and yeah, I took a break of saying damn, but yeah, I'm trying to make this a bit more PG and not less of PG. But this is where we get. This is where we got Javon Evans trying to go for a springboard maneuver, but he gets tripped out over by Wesley. That's where he hits a schoolboy on him and put his legs on the ropes on the left side after doing the surprise roll-up. But this is where we got what's the name? The referee was like, you can't put your legs on the ropes. That's illegal in this match. Like, this is not a no DQ match. This is where then Booker T then said like Kevin Owens is what's that called? Kevin Owens is phrase about referees saying, you do your damn job. And that's where he shout out to the referee. This is where Vic Joseph was like, actually, he is doing his job, Book. And I was like, yeah, sort of. Like, sound like a dreadlock a-hole would say, like someone like yours truly would say, like usual. But yeah, I was like, yeah, like he sort of was doing his job because he saw Wesley put his legs on the rope. So yeah, like it's only fair because for him to stop at the 3 count because that's not fair for the other challenger. Competitor, I should say. This is where we got. This is where Javon Evans try to go for a bounty cutter. But this is where Wesley move out of the way. This is where he goes for a flying head scissor onto a DDT. Fans start chanting, this is awesome, which I totally agree on because this was the best match of the night. And not because it was the first match, but it's because like it was probably one of like almost the best like out of all the matches except for the main event, like which that's why it's getting the silver trophy of the night, which I would have given this the golden trophy. I was like, I'm gonna wait until the other matches, which it almost got that mark, like it of an achievement here on the SNA podcast. But it's where we got Wesley going for the cardiac kid, but amazingly, he did not get the 3 count, and that's like one of the most protected moves since the end of days, like. And this is where Javon Evans got the shoulder up at the last second of 2.999999999. Don't try my going away. But this is where the Wesley was keep questioning the referee. Said, "Are you sure it's just 2?" Like it felt like a 3. This is where even the commentators were shocked. This is where we got Javon Evans to get the Irish right to the bottom right corner side. He then goes hits a thrust kick when Wesley was trying to attack him. This one then he hits another one, but this time he was already ready. They're trying to get the springboard diving corkscrew dive onto Wesley to get the 1, 2, 3. And winner of this match, the young OG that's so bouncy, and that is Javon Evans. And I'll give him a humongous congratulations of pulling out his best match yet in his career in WWE. And I sure hope that this leads up into more great matches, like on his way to being the big one, like and winning the world championship. And how old is he again? Maybe he could be the next youngest world champion, just like his idol Randy Orton. And maybe he could he could win it. Like, give him probably about 2026, I guess you could say, like in the main roster. He won his record. I'm not sure what age. I heard that he's like 2021, but some say he's like 23. So maybe they better quickly hurry and get him on the main roster very soon or rather than later. If that's the case about the second person that I heard this from, like saying about him, but if that's accurate. But what are your thoughts on this match? Do you thought this was the match of the night, or do you think this was it deserved to be where it was? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But these boys did a one hell of a job onto this match, and that's why they're the most popular ones in NXT, next to the likes of Trick Williams and pretty much everybody in the women's division, like Roxanne and Julia Zarya and Stephanie Vaquer and others. And And yeah, and also we got the likes of Trick Williams, Nathan Frazier, Axiom, Obafemi, and others, which we're going to get into right now. But speaking of the NXT Tag Team Champions, is where they had a little like a coffee coffee relaxation with them having a conversation about like what's his name, Nathan Frazier nearly had that one out there, which yeah, he was one of those guys that did, along with Javon Evans, like that nearly got to be Iron Survivor and get the shot at Trick Williams' championship. But it's where they also were happy that they won their tag team championship match. It's where with Wesley's. I mean, it's not Wesley. Nathan Frazier. I was like, yeah, like look at the bright side. We're still the reigning, defending NXT Tag Team Champion, which we're probably going to be on our way of becoming the longest reigning champions in history. It's where what's his name? Actually, was like, yeah, like I'm so sorry about that. I still want to apologize. Like, in the sense, like and it was like, and I apologize. Like I was also a bother because we had to defend our titles right afterwards. And then this word, then what's the name said, don't be a bother. Like Nathan Frazier, like and like insisting that it's everything's okay. And this word then Action was like, no, like because like yeah, I see that bandage on your face. And it was like, he was like, but if it wasn't for your performance, acts like we wouldn't be tag team champions anymore. That's where it's like maybe you're right on one thing about it. Like, but you did also amazing as well. But the thing is, you would have been both. Like, you would have been one half of the tag champ with me and an Iron Survivor. Just where Nick Fraser like, yeah, but maybe next year. This is where Axiom was like, and the a bad thing about that, I was not even in the match. Like, and he was like, and this is where then he's like, and this is where Nathan Frazier was like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, I already told him this way. Like, I know, like you deliver him. Like you, after all, you're my tag team partner. Like, and the one thing for you, I'll do anything for you. This is where then he's like, I know Nathan Frazier was like this is where he's like, I'm gonna make this right. Like, yeah, like I'm like make this right. I didn't make this right, but this is where he's like, I'm gonna make this right. Like, all right, like I'm gonna handle this. Where the Action did the same thing, but later on in the night, we saw like Action say, like, yeah, I did it right, and he's like, me too, and he's like, and this is where Nathan Frazier is like, well, you did right. And this is where he's like, well, I booked me in a match against Obafemi, like to get you a future opportunity for the NXT Championship. And this is where he's like, wait, like you did what? And he was shocked about this. This is where Action was like, yeah, why? And this is where he's like, well, because I had talks with Ava, but she also put you in the match with me for the Tag Team Championship. I mean, our Tag Team Championship next week against, who was it? Was it OTM or somebody? I think it was OTM, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is where then Action was like, when's that? And this is where he's like, next week. And Axiom say like, that's the same day. And he's going to be fighting Oba, which is next week. And this is where then he's like, I'm not sure if I can do two matches at once. This is where Nathan Fraser's like, yes, of course you can. Like, if I can do it, so can you. And this is where then Action was like, well, like look at you, like, and look at how that ended up being. Like, would you let's look at right directly at your nose? And this is where then Nathan Frazier like, but you got a mask to shield your face, and he's like, never mind. And this is where they walk their separate ways. This is where we move on to the next slide. This is where we got. But before I get into that, what are your thoughts on Axiom turning to Nathan Frazier this past Saturday? But this time it's going to be on next week's special on NXT when they go to Lowell, Massachusetts. But let me know down in the comment section right down below about that. Do you want to see Action win both of these championship matches? I mean, both of these matches. One for their tag team championship, and then the other one just a shot for Nathan to get a shot at the future NXT gold, or even him. And do you think this could be the downfall of Action Nate? Like at this point, or Fraxium? I guess that's their tag team name. I guess you could say. But let me know in the comment section right down below about that. Let's move on to the next slide. This is very interesting to talk about at this point because we've been talking about this about them splitting up for a long time. And this is where we got a vignette of how with Josh Briggs tell a story. How did he met his new tag partner from Japan, and it was all because of him competing at the Pro Wrestling Noah event, because WWE recently partnered with that Japanese-based company. I guess they're trying to be trying to do something similar to how the other companies doing with the other Japanese company, like that's more popular than Noah, which some of y'all probably gonna say, no, I don't think that's really the case. About in comparisons, they're just both popular, which I totally agree on. I don't know what got into me about saying that, but yeah, but yeah, this is where they show like it. Which it was what's his name? Yoshiki in Namora? Yeah. That's what his name is. Yoshiki in Namora. Yeah, he but this is where they show they both have the fighting spirit. Yeah, Josh Briggs have that spirit. And that's what had me intrigued of signing with NXT. That's what it said by this guy. And that's where he's been that's where he's been in NXT ever since, thanks to that match. And do you think could you see them be future tag team champions with in this kind of a duo alliance in this way? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got Sarah Schreiber. Then yeah, after Booker T was being extra excited about this alliance between Josh Briggs and what's his name, and Yoshiki in Amora, yeah, it's where we got Vic Joseph said we got Sarah Schreiber to talk to Kalani Jordan back then. This was I just cannot stand him. It just makes me so sick to my stomach. They think they can run the place like they run NXT. But let's be real, they couldn't even run a lemonade stand in the desert even if they tried, trying to do anything what the customer would want them to do. It just that's how bad they are. And just and do you think? And this is where then she's then also adds what they think who she is. They still think that she's the younger version of herself from a few years ago when she was over at Michigan State. And then this is where she was like, "After the newsflash, me now will be get both those girls alive." Imagine. I could eat them up, and that old version of myself, Kalani Jordan, any day. This where then she could I could beat both of them any day of the week, especially if I have someone like Julia on my side. This is where Julia also had something to say say something in their native language, which I'm not sure if it's Japanese or Italian, given that they're